Hello and happy Sunday. Welcome to the What Would I Do Differently video. I finally cleaned my house so I can show you in the Casita where I'm going to start first, and then in my house what I might do differently with the renovation that I did. There's a before and after video, so if you want to go watch what the whole process was like, go ahead and watch that video. It's actually pretty amazing, the transformation of what the house looked like before and what it looks like now. Okay, so we're going to start with the Casita and then we'll come back and take you through my house. All right, so I'm gonna do a walkthrough of the Casita and kind of go through and see what I would have done differently and what I would just have, kept the same. So I'll just give you an overview of the whole place. Go into the bedroom. Okay, now I'll go through and see what I would do differently and what I am happy and would keep the same. I love the screened in open windows above the sliding glass doors to go onto the patio. I really love how this just looks so open. For a small space, I think it just really, it just looks really nice incorporating the indoor and outdoor. I wish the greenery had grown on the bamboo more than it has. It really hasn't at all. So I'm gonna get one more of that fake greenery and put it on top. And I think that'll look more intentional and just kind of break up that wall of brown bamboo. But I love the little hammock patio. It's just a nice spot to hang out. I don't think there's anything I would change in the kitchen. I love this little corner shelf that we put in. And I love my over the sink dish drying rack. The open shelves are great because the humidity just, it can be a big problem. This whole entryway, I love. I wouldn't change a thing. Oh, maybe I would actually. The very top two windows on either side, they don't actually need to be louvered because these two panels on both sides of the door are louvered, and so there's plenty of ventilation that comes in there. I did a lot of research on my own to find out if the cooler air from under my house could be drafted, up into the Casita, and it actually works, thank goodness. But I don't think I needed every single window in here. I probably just could have done maybe 3 or 4. It didn't really have to be like a whole wall of the windows on the ground floor. I am happy with the glass block because I just think it adds a nice lighter element. So I am happy with that. I do love the stenciling that I did, even though that was a real big labor of love. That took a long time, but that wall needed some brightness. It needed something to kind of break it up because it's a really big wall. I don't know if people use that exhaust fan, but I think it was a very smart thing to put in. And I like how the microwave is above but tucked in a little bit. So if you're cooking at the stovetop, you're not gonna risk like banging your head. I love the glass block. It just lets in light and just gives more of that kind of indoor, outdoor feel. I really like the setup of the living room. I love this thing that I had made. I had some materials left over, and then some of the materials were new. I actually had guests that swung this around, and so then they had like the TV facing into the bedroom. So I'm gonna get some wheels and make it a little easier to swing that table around. I really like that little accent of the glass block, just to add in a little bit of light, you know, wherever you can, because this technically could be a darker space, although now that the roof has had some of it cut to make room for the gutter, there's actually a lot more light that comes in. In the bedroom, so those two bottom parts of the window, I probably wouldn't have put in at all. They don't look out on anything pretty, and I think people would feel a little more secure having just the higher windows, because that is the street facing wall. These windows I would keep the same. This was a great idea, just having this open space. It just really adds a nice kind of open flow. I am thinking of putting a small air conditioning unit in one of these windows. This one on the left. So just kind of closing that off, you know, with concrete and putting an air conditioning unit there. That'll be good for cooling, I think, but I'm not planning on blocking off that top section, but I have been reading that cool air settles. Also, I just think it would be good if somebody wants just some white noise, you know, just to have. I love the barn doors and the little closet racks that I found at Do It Center. I really don't think I needed 2 doors going into the bathroom. That was definitely something that Tony was like, you gotta have 2 doors. But generally, people are just a couple or a person on their own staying here. I think it'd be different if it was like a 2-bedroom with only, well, no, it wouldn't be 1 bathroom with the 2 bedrooms. Anyway, I don't really think I needed 2 doors, but there they are. The bathroom, I don't think I would change anything. I really like the glass block. Yeah, like the open shelving. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything in here. I think that's it. I guess I really wouldn't change that much. It's all clean right now because I have guests arriving. So, and then when I clean my house, I'll do my house. That might be a while. So let's start with an overview, just walking through. This is the kitchen area. And again, if you watch the before and after video, you'll see how drastically different everything was. This is the living area, and there were no stairs there, and that window wall was actually an exterior wall. Absolutely love, love, love my stairs and the wall and windows. A lot of that glass was recycled. The one thing I would change is that up at the very top, I love my basket lights, but that top sliding window, the guys made it fixed on the far left side, and it would have been a lot easier to try and change light bulbs if that window was not fixed permanent. There's probably a way to undo it, but I didn't think about how changing a light bulb might not be easy. One of my favorite things is this cat. I think that was like one of the best design decisions. Although she is cute, she can be quite violent, but her cuteness makes up for it. All right, love my stairs. That's all teak wood, but that was quite an ordeal to get that actually finished. This whole wall of sliding glass door I love. So before there was like a wall and then just fixed windows. So there wasn't a lot of ventilation down here. And up above, I did just that screened in mesh. Just really, it was a budget decision because to put in glass up there, you know, just would have been more costly. And this wall of doors was expensive. I kept the original door, which, you know, is just this glass door. I thought I was gonna have to change it because the lock was at the bottom on the floor, and I didn't want to have to bend down every time I was coming in. But then I discovered I could buy a lock on Amazon, and so kept the door, which is great because when I'm sitting on the couch working, that's kind of where I work from, is the couch right here. So when I'm sitting here, that's my view. If the couch outside was more comfortable, I'd probably work out there sometimes, but it's not really that comfortable. All right, let me finish in the living room area. I don't think I would do anything differently in here. I have exposed plumbing pipe for the bathroom upstairs, and it's fine. The pipe is painted black, and then the water pipes are painted gray, so you don't really see them, and also it's just part of the industrial tropical vibe. That way if anything goes wrong, it's easier to fix. And I really like having the ceiling fan without a light. I don't generally like the lights from a ceiling fan. And I have plenty of light in here. I originally thought that I was going to change the floor just because I'm not crazy about symmetry, like the squares and the color, but it would have been cost prohibitive to do that, and I'm quite happy with it. It's totally fine. I love the kitchen. I love my little island here. I'm very happy that I started the counter over here, and this is the cabinet right there for my pots and pans, which is perfect because it's right near the stove. On these 3 windows, I didn't do any ventilation. It was getting to, some of those cost decisions. And I just put the louvered windows up there above the sink. And actually it works out fine because it does get so windy, and so dust blows in when it's windy. And there's plenty of ventilation. Like, I don't feel like there's not enough ventilation in here. That shelf above was already here, and I really like it. I can display some of my colorful glass that I really enjoy looking at. And some plates that I picked up from different travels. I absolutely love the pottery from Portugal. Probably would love it from Italy too. And where's some of that is from Hungary, I think. Great decision to do my mesh on the cabinets. You can kind of see through that cabinet, and it's good for ventilation, so that's just wire mesh. The handles for the drawers I spray painted. They were already here, and just spray painted them the copper color. All right, speaking of copper, we have to talk about my counter. This is epoxy resin, and I bought the epoxy, I bought the color. It's kind of hard to really get a good view of the color. But the guy that did the pour turned out not to actually have the ability or the skill that he said he did. I told him that this was a pour that there was going to be an edge, like a hard stop edge. And so he came and he looked, and he just proceeded to kind of make a mess of everything. And I mean, it got really bad to where I didn't even want him to come back. He was just really unpleasant to work with. So this edge is unfinished, and what I just decided to do was put this black electrical tape over it just to kind of finish it, because it's rough, it doesn't meet the teak, I know it was a challenging thing to do because it was a little uneven. And instead of redoing the whole pour, I just opted to put the black tape. I think it looks fine. You know, is it high standard, high quality? No. But for me, it's fine. Eventually, when I sell the house, I don't know, someone can just do whatever they want to do. Very happy to have the dishwasher, even though I don't use it all that much. And oh, my pantry, that tall cabinet, you know, is my pantry. Love that. Plenty of space in there for everything. And this cabinet below the microwave actually has a heat bar in it. And that keeps the moisture out. Oh, it's a mess. But that little heat bar is supposed to just keep the humidity at bay. It does a decent job. My fridge is wider than the countertop, or deeper, whatever width that is, measurement that is, but it doesn't bother me. And then on the side of the pantry cabinet also is just that mesh. See-through, but that's fine. You know, it doesn't bother me. I prefer to have the airflow in there. And yeah, I don't think there's anything other than the countertop that the guy has screwed up. I don't think there's anything that I would do differently down here. All right, we'll go check the bathroom. Now before, there was this barrel type ceiling that initially I had wanted to try and keep, but I'm really glad that I didn't. I love the wallpaper, and all the mirrors were here. I just had the guys paint the tile. I kept the urinal. You know, it's easier to keep it than ripping it out. So it looks different enough, but still kind of similar. I just wish these plants would grow. Everything that I've planted in there just hasn't done great. So hopefully these plants will grow. If you're gonna do a renovation project in Panama, make sure that you buy all the materials. Don't give the contractor or the worker the money to go buy the materials. Go with the person, or go on your own, but get the materials and supplies yourself. I had an account at the local ferreteria, and so I did give permission for Hermes to order things, but they kept an itemized receipt of what they were ordering, and then I would review that with Tony, the guy who was like my general contractor, and we would review that like down to the last tornillo, the screws. And so I was assured that the materials that were being ordered were actually being delivered to my house and used on my house. That's very important to do because there are stories, and I know people that this has happened to, where they gave money to someone and then they never saw the money again. So that's very important to do. You also just have to have patience about timelines and understand that things work differently here, and there can be delays. I think having a good conversation about setting up expectations beforehand is important, but also you do have to be a little bit flexible in considering a timeline for a project to get done. I think I was very lucky. The whole renovation took 8 months, and that was, renovating this whole house, brand new electrical, brand new partial roof, raising a roof line, putting in, stairs, changing exterior walls, adding plumbing. It was a pretty significant renovation. And building the Casita, there was nothing there. So I think the 8 months was amazing, and I had an amazing crew. These guys worked tirelessly every day. And I've mentioned before how some of them walked an hour to get here, to be here in the morning on time, and then worked their full day and then walked back home. Just incredibly hard workers. And that had to do with Hermes. So Hermes was the man who was in charge of the crew, and that was a blessing because they respect him. They know that they'll have a lot of work in the future with him as he has consistent projects. And I think it would have been different if I were just trying to put a crew together. Are you kidding? It would be near impossible. And then some of the guys I've actually, used for some odd jobs, or like Alex, who's a plumber by trade and does soldering. Sometimes when he doesn't have work, he needs just a little extra work, and so he'll do any number of things, and he's an incredibly diligent and hard worker. So, all right, I'm gonna go upstairs and clean the rest of the upstairs, and then we'll go tour that. One thing I forgot to mention, it doesn't bother me, but the guy who did my countertops mismeasured. So I wanted tall countertops, but he measured from the bottom of the cabinet, not from the buffer, of I guess that's 5 inches or so. So technically my counters should have been 5 inches shorter, but I guess I've gotten used to it. But I'm 5'5.5", and the counter is above my belly button. So it's fine for, chopping and stuff, and thankfully the counters aren't that deep. And the sink is okay too. I don't feel like the sink is hard to reach. I love my black sink. I got that on Amazon because I couldn't find one in Panama. All right, now we're upstairs, and I'll take you through upstairs to tell you what I would have done differently in the renovation. And again, that video is on the channel of the full renovation from before and after. It's kind of fun to watch. First, we'll do a little walkthrough of the space overall. Those are the stairs coming from downstairs. that beautiful wall of windows, which I also haven't thought about how I would wash them. Bathroom is on the left, and my bedroom. All right, we might as well start in here because we're in here. I don't think in here I would have done anything differently. I'm glad I have the air conditioner, though I've only used it a few times, and mostly I've used, well, once I think I've used it for cooling, and twice I've used it to mitigate noise. Oh, she wants attention. She's so cute. But I absolutely love my bedroom. It is truly a sanctuary. I love going to sleep and waking up to these mountains. It's just amazing. And I can see stars at night. I just am so thrilled. Really, it's just incredible to be able to have that. I also absolutely love my kind of pass-through windows. That's where the bathroom is, in the middle. And I just didn't want to feel like boxed in, and I wanted openness, airiness, airflow, light. And the window guy really thought I was crazy, but I'm very, very happy with it. Also very happy with the pony wall. It was a nice way just to separate the sleeping area from the area that has my dresser and my desk. When I had client calls, I would sit up here, but now that I'm mostly writing, I'm sitting downstairs. Love the greenery. I put an exhaust fan up here also, like there's one in the kitchen. I don't really think it was necessary. I thought that it would get hotter up here and that I would need it. The other weird thing that I did was I put the switch for that fan underneath the desk. I think my thinking at the time was if I was on a call and I needed to turn it on or off, I could do it with my foot. But yeah, I don't even think I really need the fan, although that fan I actually also used when the new neighbor was having one of his big parties. I used that to just drown out the noise and used my earplugs, closed the windows, and took half a sleeping pill. And that seemed to work. Wouldn't change anything here. I love my doors. I wouldn't change anything in the bathroom. I love how that all came together. The pebble wall, or bigger than pebbles, I guess. It's really nice to take a shower, like I'm standing in the shower right now. And so this is the view from the shower, which is really nice at dusk or in the morning. This hippie painting was one that my mom did. And I think she did that in 1960 something. There's the lift. That's the only thing that was in here that Pierre used to get up and down. I do actually use this day bed. I'll either, sit up here sometimes, or that trundle bed comes out and then I can have guests stay up here. And eventually I'm gonna get like, what do they call it? I forget the name. I think it's called membrane here, like screens for privacy. Another little sitting area here. At first I wasn't sure if this space was just gonna look very odd because it's not big enough for anything. But I didn't want the bathroom wall to come all the way to the edge. And I just think it's perfect like this. Just a little desk there, it looks purposeful. I've got plants, and it really is just a nice corner, the way that all came together. I put the window film on the glass before they installed the glass, but I ran out of film, so on the right hand side there's not any color panels like there are on the left, and I doubt I'm gonna actually put some up there, so it just looks a little odd, but that's okay. The one thing that I would have done differently is I would have asked the guys to do this floor in sections and had like section dividers, because look at these cracks. Also, this floor was a bit of an issue because Hermes did make a pretty big mistake. That at first he wasn't willing to bear the brunt of the cost for the mistake. What he did was he told the guys to just pour the concrete, and I think he had assumed, even though we went over it in detail numerous times, that it was going to be an exposed, polished concrete floor. So what he did was he just poured the floor, but it was all rough, and it wasn't even the type of aggregate that could be polished. So they ended up just having to pour like a skim coat over, and probably just should have done it in sections so that I didn't end up with these cracks. But I think that's a very small thing compared to this amazing roof line. I mean, this is just, I'm happy just even standing right here. I absolutely love it. And I think it was a really good idea to put this vinyl film on the bottom glass. Just adds a little bit of privacy. If anybody's downstairs, they can't really just see up in here directly. And if they did, they would see how cute Heather is. Well, that was fun. I should do that more often because now I have an organized house, except for like the laundry area. And do you hear this wind? This is common in windy season. In fact, last night I didn't sleep that great because of all the wind. It's noisy. I probably should have put on the fan. Well, thanks for coming along the tour. It actually felt really good to organize the house. It's been a little bit chaotic because, as you know, I've been writing and publishing, and thank goodness I ordered a proof copy of this workbook, the workbook for emotional healing and self-discovery after a breakup, because I made some major mistakes in formatting it. The gutter margin is too big, and the page numbers didn't come out on the proper sides of the page. So the book was set to release January 25th, Saturday, which is actually today. And I needed to get these files done for the paperback and the hardcover before the book was going to release, to be able to upload the new files. And it was especially time consuming because I didn't realize this, but I chose a size of paperback that isn't available in hardcover. So I had to reformat it for the paperback version and then reformat it for the hardcover version. It took a long time. I'm tired. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, Sunday. The video will come out today. I'll be editing it probably into the evening. And then tomorrow, I think I'm just gonna enjoy garden time, maybe get together with a friend, because I've really been pushing hard. Anyway, the paperback and print version are available, and I think they'll be a great workbook for anyone who's going through a breakup, whether it's recent or, been a year or two, but still a little bit questioning how to move forward. So thanks so much for your support, for watching. I hope you liked the run through of the what I might do differently on the house renovation. I guess it turns out I really wouldn't do that much different. So that's a good sign. Have a great week. See you next time.